I'm Danica Patrick, and I'm pretty intense. Do you feel like this sort of perspective on the relationship is a result of being in an open relationship?
Certainly
Now,
helps.
good Lord, it's hard enough with one. Please tell me how you dealt with more. And why? Like, why? That would make it harder, I would think. But go for it.
It was...
Because you're having a great transition.
It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I've never felt more suffering, more pain, more ego destroying moments where, there was moments where, Whitney would be with one of her other lovers and I would be in so much discomfort in all aspects of, like, particularly emotionally. I remember one time in New York, I was like crawling around on the ground. She was with a particularly aggressive lover, and that was like really hard for me, at that point. And like I was like crawling around on the ground, and I didn't know if I wanted to throw up or like punch a wall or like cry and I just had to start. I don't pray often, but I just had to actually start praying. I was like, please help, universe. Like, please, I can't go any further.
Why did you guys agree to this?
Well, that's the challenging part. But what the reward is of those challenges is you start to understand why that is hurting. Why is this hurting me?
Sure.
What is causing this pain? Why is her enjoying herself and enjoying somebody else? Why is that causing me pain? Why is her happiness causing me pain? Does that need to be there? Or is this my attachment, my competition, my desire to be the special one, my desire to be validated as the only one that she's attracted to, which makes me greater than everybody else, which boosts what are the reasons behind this? And then you start to get really curious about that when you really understand, like, this shouldn't feel this bad. She's having fun, or I'm having fun, and we're feeling so terrible. Maybe we don't have to feel that terrible. So it ended up being the most valuable learning process that I've ever had. And I really realized through this process that I required the validation of a lover to make me feel like I was worthy of love. I required them like wanting me in a sexual way in order for me to feel like I was worthy of even loving myself. And this unwound that pathology through pain and introspection and allowed me to really understand that, which allows me to feel like I'm whole and I don't need anything that I used to need. Because if we didn't go open, we would have just gone into serial monogamy, because she needed the validation of different people loving her. I needed the validation of different people sleeping with me, So we split up, and we would have continued to just go a year, 2 years, however long with a person until we sucked up all the validation that we could get from that person. And then we would have moved on and then sucked it up from somebody else and then moved on. But now I think both of us can be like, wow, that was really fucking hard. But I actually feel whole. I feel like I don't need anything anymore. I feel like I learned my own pathology and healed my own pathology to the point where I'm good.
Do you think that you could still adopt this mentality of sort of disconnecting from the validation and not needing it with one person?
Totally.
Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Like, I think I'd be signed up for that one.
Well, I think feeling whole. I think feeling whole no matter what.
Yeah.
And then celebrating whoever you're with's happiness.
Yeah.
Genuinely without needing anything from them. So if the person, I'm dating somebody now, and like, we're just dating, but in the dating process, there's going to be other people that you see. And usually in dating protocol, when you're just starting off dating somebody, you really just don't talk about it. And I was taught, like, look, I'm happy for you to tell me whoever you're seeing. Like, I'll celebrate it with you. Was it good? Did you have a good night? And she's like, what do you mean? This is crazy. I don't trust this. I was like, no, for real. And then she like getting more used to, she's like, yeah, I saw this guy. And I was like, how was it? She's like, it was great. I was like, that's awesome. She's like, this is a trick. I was like, no, it's not a trick. Like, I'm genuinely happy for you. Like, I'm just happy that you're having a great time. And I like, it's really interesting because that's not the old me. The old me would have been fucked up. would have been really fucked up
on the
over
streets
that.
of New York,
Yeah,
crawling
I would
around.
have been like, what is she doing? I wonder if he's better than me.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's gonna love him more than me. I wonder,
Yeah.
oh my God, and I'd be all freaked out and it'd
Yeah.
be ruin my day. And now, knowing that I'm whole and that I'm okay, and that if that person is actually better for her, that would be a bummer, but okay, that's fine. Like, allow that truth to exist, and if that truth is what exists, that's okay, because I'm whole. It's not gonna hurt me if she makes that choice. I'll be bummed out, but if that's the right and best choice, that's the right and best choice.
Don't you think it finds its way anyway, though? Like, if you aren't right for each other, it's going to find its way anyway.
Oh,
without having to complicate things with pain. Which, I mean,
yeah.
Pain is a topic I want to talk about, but don't you think you can just go through the transition yourself?
Some people,
together with one person? And
yeah, sure. Some people can become whole. This is one way to become whole.
Right.
This is not like the way for everybody. I'm not like saying
this is a deep dive into becoming whole.
This is a deep dive. And for people who are particularly screwed up, in this nest, who really have a deep need for validation from the opposite sex, which I did. Like, I don't think there was another way. I did all the ayahuasca, I did all the plant medicine, I did all the other things. I was trying all kinds of stuff, but nothing like brought me to my knees to the point where I really had to deal with my need for particularly a female to love me in an intimate way, for me to be able to love myself. That was the necessity for me to be able to love myself. Well, this allowed me to cure that pathology. And for Whitney, it allowed her to cure that for herself as well, in her own way for needing, it wasn't so much about the sex, but it was about the attention, affection, desire, being desired by multiple people. I think both of us can say, yeah, we made a ton of mistakes. Some parts were amazing and some parts were truly amazing. Like I'm talking about the negative parts. There was amazing parts. We had amazing times together and so much love shared, not only with each other, but with other people as well. But, really it's a path of growth, and what we do in the future, is undetermined. But I think, really looking at this, maybe it's a long-term solution for some people. Maybe it's just a path of growth. I certainly wouldn't do it the same way that we did it. We learned a lot, and we went way too far in some ways, and I think we made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
But the
That's the
end
learning
result,
process.
that's the learning process.